10 minutes of free time. Hundreds of viable candidates. That's a typical day for a recruiter like Janice. It starts with her. She's hustling to fill several business-critical roles at Flexus. There's a product launch coming up and the team is short-handed. She can't just wait for the perfect candidate to walk through the door. And with so many people vying for her attention, she needs an easy way to identify the few who are most likely to thrive. Someone, perhaps, like Emmett. He's an active job seeker and comes to LinkedIn daily to connect to people, information, and opportunities. Based on his skills and experience, he could be a perfect fit for the open role at Flexus. But they're just not on his radar. Until this morning, when an intelligent algorithm matches him to Janice's open role. When he reads the job description, it looks like a fit. He sees that a college friend works there. Now he's wondering if he can get a referral. It could also be Rachel. She's comfortable in her current role, even if she hasn't been inspired lately. While checking LinkedIn at home, she reads a post from Flexus that really resonates with her. She realizes it may be time to signal that she's open to change. These are just two of the millions of candidate journeys that cross LinkedIn every day, setting up recruiters like Janice to be successful. Here, she has the power to start, spark, and redirect any candidate's journey, and automatically identify top candidates long before they've entered the ATS. This is how Janice strengthens every stage of her hiring funnel and buys herself time to do what she does best: spend quality time with quality candidates. It's how she'll build a winning team to nail this product launch and the next one. Recruiters like Janice know you can't measure success by just tracking where a candidate's journey ends. It's about where they've been and the path that leads them to you. It all starts here.
You know what we do on a Monday? Lights, cameras, action! Welcome and happy Monday. My name is Stuart Samkange and welcome to this LinkedIn live stream on a Monday morning on how to hire a Rockstar software developer. I hope your Monday morning is going well. And for those who have never watched this LinkedIn live stream, maybe I should start off by introducing myself so you know a little bit about myself and what I do at LinkedIn. At LinkedIn, I get to head up our higher education sector across Sub-Saharan Africa, Central Eastern Europe, and Southern Eastern Europe. I get to work with these universities, colleges, polytechnics, and higher education institutions, helping them brand, tell their story, to attract the best-in-class staff and faculty members that ultimately work to impact our students' success. Student success, speaking of which, I also help universities, colleges, and higher educational institutions give our students the skills they need for jobs or entrepreneurship. But enough about me. Welcome to this live stream. How's your Monday morning? How was your weekend? Of course, it was a weekend full of all sorts of things, but more importantly, today, where are you watching from? Because if you watched The Sizzler on Friday, we spoke about celebrating Africa Day. And in terms of celebrating Africa Day, what we mentioned was that today we want to look at real-time insights into specific locations. So tell us where you're watching from on the stream, and time permitting, we'll have a look at insights specific to your geography. So it's Monday morning. If you can hear me, I hope I'm not muted and I'm talking to myself. The only way I can tell is if I bring in, and here I need a little bit of help. It's Monday morning. He needs a little bit of help getting going. My dear friend, John Bowles from Turn Left Media, who's going to be helping me moderate this session. Good morning, John.
I've got my coffee, Stu. I am alive and kicking, ready for the morning burner, the Monday morning burner, and excited to hear all your insights. Wonderful to be here. I have popped onto the questions, told people drop where you're from. Nobody's telling us where they're from yet, but we've got somebody from Ghana, Accra. We've got Dazifa from Ghana. Isn't that a great place to be? And wonderful to celebrate Africa Day on Friday. It's a good time to celebrate Africa because we got all the people, we got the resource, we got the entrepreneurship.
We got all of the challenges and all of the opportunities to solve them as well. Because when things are stable, there's no opportunity, right? So it's only when we have challenges. So we embrace them because there is some positivity. John, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go straight into the live stream. This live stream today, John, I'm trying to help out a specific community. You heard me a little bit earlier on talking about, of course, the academic sector, nonprofit foundations, and other areas where we work. But today, John, we're trying to help a specific community. Well, in fact, two communities, right? What's the first community you think we're trying to help?
I'm going to guess software developers. Well, we're going to obviously help HR find software developers. So we're out to help talent acquisition teams. We're out to help learning and tech, anybody in those fields. But I know that software, that's what's so exciting about today. Software developers are in huge demand, aren't they? Huge demand around the world.
Absolutely, John. Software developers are in huge demand, but this live stream specifically aims to educate, empower, and engage those of you who are hiring managers. You could be a CIO, you could be head of digital transformation, or a project that needs software developers. We're looking to help those who are in talent acquisition, HR business partners, and recruiters who are intentionally going out there trying to garner the attention of software developers. And we'll give you some nuances into how LinkedIn supports you in terms of reaching this hard to hire audience. And of course, we're trying to help you as software developers get access to new economic opportunities. I did this last week, John, and it gives me pleasure to do it again this week. An opportunity to kick you off screen. But before I kick you off screen, how about I let you shout out a couple of the people that are already in the chat as we get started. So who have we got online? Hi, Mercy. We got Mercy Karanja. Mercy's watching straight out of Kenya. Who else is watching us, John?
We've got Albert from Kenya. We've got Fabian from Kenya. Lots of Kenyans in the house. And Mamashega from Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa. Definitely Africa in the house. And I think I mentioned the Zifa from Accra, Ghana. So a nice spread across East, South, and West Africa.
And the thing is, this is your show. You get the opportunity to ask questions. So let's get on to it. John, I'm kicking you off screen right now.
Just before you do, make sure everybody please pose your questions in the comments. Stuart loves a bit of interaction. Please, this is your opportunity to reach out to him.
Superb. Let's get started, John. I'm kicking you off camera as we do traditionally. You're going to be monitoring the questions in the chat. So if you have a question, get into the chat. John and the team are ready to answer. So please, let's interact. And right now, let's get started with today's agenda, which is, of course, about how we hire Rockstar software developers. But before we even do that, how about a little bit of a quick flashback? What have we covered so far in this LinkedIn live stream series? We have covered several jobs, and we've been intentional about the jobs that we've covered. So in the first of this series, we covered how you go out there and you hire fundraisers, Rockstar fundraisers, and even more so, Rockstar donor relations managers. If you missed that, of course, those live streams are still available for you to watch. If you just go onto my profile and you can go into my thread, you'll see some of those live streams that I did. But we started off by helping institutions, nonprofits, foundations, and higher education, or anyone else that relies on funds coming in, donations, gifts, endowments, whatever you want to call it. We showed you what it takes to hire rock stars in that space, the business development skills that they needed, the soft skills that they required, and of course, the hard skills that they needed in that space. So that was the first job that we covered. Then we went on to look at jobs that enable our communities. So we went on and did a session specifically on how to hire teachers and teaching assistants. Again, we looked at what are the skills? what makes them stand out, what are the questions to ask in an interview, and how to distinguish between good and great. So if you missed that, that's also another live stream that we've done before. And then last week, the hunter became the hunted. We looked at what it takes for your organization to hire the best in class talent acquisition, sourcing, or recruitment skills. So we looked at how to hire the best in class recruiters, those who actively go out and identify the talent that we need as organizations in order to transform, in order to provide services, solutions, or products. So we looked at how to hire a recruiter. Probably one of the biggest audiences we've ever had on this live stream was on how to hire recruiters, which was last week. But without digressing and transitioning straight into, of course, one last thing before I transition into today's, we did share something special with that audience when we did how to hire a Rockstar recruiter. We shared our predictions as LinkedIn, looking at our data, looking at our insights, working with over 59 million companies worldwide on the platform. We looked at what is the future of recruitment, and we shared 17 best practices. Did you get them? Did you not get them? If you want access to what are the 17 best practices in recruitment, in the future of recruitment, you will get access to that if you stay on this live stream, because I've got a QR code that I'm going to be sharing after this, which will give you access to that document. The predictions coming in from LinkedIn, having analyzed data and insights across the world and saying, where is recruitment going? So today, without much further digression, we're talking about how to hire a rockstar software developer. And what you can come to expect in terms of this live stream today is that we will be looking at it from a lens of an HR hiring organizational view. How do they go out and identify the best in class, interview, shortlist, and hire this talent? And what's more, it's important that as we're doing all of this, our brand story is active and is actively engaging this community that is being hit on, for lack of a better word, that is being hit on by so many headhunters and talent acquisition professionals. So this is what to expect in our live stream today is, of course, a quick walkthrough, of course, of what is the role of a software developer, what skills are important, how do we interview for them, and in interviewing, we're looking at behavioral skills, we're looking at essential soft skills, and of course, we're looking at the hard skills. In terms of software developers, or holistically the world of recruitment, each and every one of us, our organization tends to use titles that are different from other institutions and organizations. So today I'm asking you, even though we're focusing on how to hire software developers, in my time here at LinkedIn for the last 4 years, what I have noted is that other institutions will refer to this talent in different titles and different roles. So in terms of our mindset today, let's broaden it as we think of the role of a software developer. And as we said, what are the things that we're trying to get across in this live stream? We're trying to get across how difficult it is, first of all, to hire them, and how tactfully and strategically you can go about to plan, have insights on where this talent sits, what skill it has, who else is hiring for it. Because you might be in higher education, but the same talent that you're going after, financial services or telcos are going after the same talent. So how do you position your brand as a higher educational institution to a software developer so that when they're looking at jobs and comparing the benefits of maybe working in a financial institution where maybe I can get a preferential mortgage, to working in a higher educational institution where perhaps I can further invest in myself and have a flourishing career after I've served time with you as an educational institution. So we'll look at how we go about branding our organizations, telling the stories that have impact with this particular audience, and then how we'll go about sourcing them and sourcing them strategically, reaching them with key messages that resonate with the things they care about. So that's with our jobs and with our brand on LinkedIn. And then we'll talk about how we headhunt, how we go about looking at insights to get an understanding of where this talent is, and how we tactfully reach out to software developers. And what I've seen the best in class do. The best in class organizations have a combination of HR and marketing working together. And what I've also seen is that the best in class are reaching out to software developers, not to say, click, apply for this job. They're reaching out meaningfully to first have a conversation that puts that particular candidate, that top candidate, at ease on what is the opportunity, what are the benefits, and what kind of role and responsibility you'll be expected to play if you join us. So those are the informational interviews top recruiters are doing with software developers in order to get them to click the button to apply, which is what we want ultimately. I talked on Friday, the Sizzler. If you missed it on Fridays, we typically preempt what we are going to cover in this show. And we do the show on Friday to help out job seekers. But today, of course, is about helping out those in hiring, those in talent acquisition, and those in recruitment. So, what am I sharing? I am sharing what are some of the skills LinkedIn has looked at across our population of data. And our population of data today sits at 930 million members, plus 59 million companies, plus 120,000 schools, higher educational institutions, plus 11 million jobs on the platform. And what we've looked at is said, what are the skills companies are struggling to hire for? What are the skills that are being asked for in common? And what are the fastest rising skills that are related to software developers? And why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because you, as HR, talent acquisition professionals, hiring managers, and project leaders, have an option. We can help you, yes, identify and find talent out there. What we're also doing is that when you're looking at who to hire, we're giving you an option and a view, two lens of external candidates and internal candidates. What does that mean? That means that you and I, as HR and talent development professionals, have an opportunity to help internal people acquire these skills and grow. LinkedIn Learning provides some of these skills that are required for software developers. So if we have people that are transitioning in our business and they have an interest and we want to grow them into becoming software developers, these are some of the top skills that are in demand, and these are the skills we'd provide for our internal candidates. What's more, when we're looking at our external candidates, this should be part of the benchmark of some of the skills we'll be looking at to assess against, because these are some of the most in-demand hard skills. I covered this on Friday on the Sizzler. Holistically, like I said, we want to hire the best in class talent, not just software developers, but professionals. Software developers do not work in isolations, they work in teams. Software developers are not just individual contributors. Software developers lead teams, technical teams, business teams, strategic teams. They are interacting with every part of our business to ensure that experience or that product or solution that they are producing speaks to our business needs, our strategic needs, speaks to our people needs, whether it be internal or external. So holistically, software developers are expected to have some lens on understanding business, on understanding how to communicate, on providing exceptional customer service. So as you think about going out there and hiring software developers and finding the best in class, then I'd urge you to look for them holistically, not just looking at the hard skills, but also looking at the behavioral skills and, of course, some of the essential soft skills that make them up as professionals. All right, and where'd you get those skills? I mentioned this before, but I will again, because here's what makes LinkedIn unique. LinkedIn, as we all know, because we're on the platform right now, unless you're watching off YouTube, thank you for watching off YouTube if you are. But on LinkedIn, like we said, there's companies, there's people, there's skills, there's jobs, there's knowledge. There's so much available there. We look at all of that data, particularly the jobs and the skills that you have. And we look and we harness and say, where's the gaps? And with that, we produce 18,000 courses on the platform today for business, for creative, and more importantly, for people like our software developers today, we have a whole category on technology, including software development. So the skills required to build up internal resources, or the skills required for us when we have hired that software developer to retain him, we give them a development opportunity. When you develop people, they stay longer with your brand. So as we interview, what we should be putting front, center, and forward as HR organizations is the fact that when you join us, here's the world of development that exists for you. At LinkedIn, we're all about transformation. When I joined LinkedIn, they told me it was about personal transformation. It was not about retaining me here at LinkedIn, holding me hostage. It was about growing me so that I can flourish and go out into the world of work. And if I go out having been developed, I will speak well of this brand. I will help attract talent. I will help LinkedIn find clients because I've had a good employee experience. So as we recruit, one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves is to position the opportunity for our talent to be developed when they join us. So here we're saying you've got 18,000 courses available to you on your mobile device. And if you're in South Africa with load shedding, guess what? If the power goes, you can still learn offline off your device. But I digress because learning is so important and is something I'm super passionate about. So 18,000 courses available there for you and your community. Let's carry on in terms of how we're going to go out there and hire the Rockstar software developer. With LinkedIn, I'll just position here a couple of tools that go out there and help us. What are some of these tools? Well, our presence on LinkedIn can be further enhanced by us having a career page. A career page is where we get to feature our brand story, who we are, who are some of our leaders, what does some of the talent we have look like. Here we get to show you the facilities that you'll be working in. Here we get to show you employee testimonials. And here we get to position the things that matter to you, whether it's work flexibility, our commitments as an organization, our policies around diversity, inclusion, and belonging. All of these things we get to position in our brand story on LinkedIn. We want to find software developers on the platform where they are. Software developers don't just come onto LinkedIn to look for jobs. Software developers come onto LinkedIn to share knowledge, to connect, to join groups. So while they're here, let them come over to our page and find content that resonates with them as specifically software developers, where we're saying these are the people you're most likely to work with. This is what our work environment looks like. This is the reason why people join us and why you should consider to be a part of us. So that's on our branding and telling our story. Then, as I said, in terms of recruiting, we got two approaches. You can have your jobs, of course, posted on LinkedIn. Great, because the algorithms will go out there and post these jobs in front of those who have the skills, experience, and the education you're looking for. But we know software developers are high in demand. They might not respond first time they see that job. So how do we go about to engage them? We leverage the insights that we have to understand them. Then we go about using our LinkedIn recruiter tool to start reaching out to them, to start looking at our network and say, who else in our network knows this developer? Who can recommend them? Who can help us position the job that we have? Who in our organization knows that particular candidate and how they can help us attract that candidate to come and join us? So those are some of the things that we can do in terms of jobs. But here's what makes LinkedIn unique and the value that we are positioning today. The value we're positioning today is that in order for you to do this hiring of software developers efficiently, at scale, and affordably. You want to lead with insights. You want to have a lens on industry, a lens on skills, and lens on how realistic your aspirations are in terms of a talent pool. Maybe that talent doesn't exist. Maybe that talent is being attracted by industries that pay more than you pay as an organization. So, how do you reshape your message to ensure that that particular candidate still sees value in joining your organization as opposed to chasing the money in this particular case? All right, so we're about to get started into, of course, what are the things to look out for in terms of skills, how to ask those interview questions. But I want to take a breather and ask if there's any questions. So I'll bring John back on screen. Happy Monday, folks. Bring John back on screen and just check.
I'm back. I'm back.
Hey, you're back. Welcome back. How's it going? Can people hear me? Are there any
Yep.
questions? And how are we pacing?
We are pacing well. You know, it's a Monday morning. Obviously, people are still a bit shy. They're getting into the cadence of the week. So, but we've got a lot of Africa representation here, which is great and I think relevant because there is an African opportunity, isn't there? There are jobs in desire. There's a whole new skill set being developed. My question to you, Stu, is we can see that skills are changing quickly and ongoing. Does LinkedIn's algorithm manage to just keep up to date with the changing skills? At the moment, we know there's huge demand for those skills you mentioned earlier, but obviously we're going to see a rise in AI, for example. How does the system keep up to date with those new skills that are coming out? You know, as because we don't know what those future skills are, right?
I love it. Thank you very much for that. It's a great segue to tell the story of LinkedIn, right? At LinkedIn, what we're trying to do is put together, of course, this beautiful collection of all the world's working professionals. And not only so that they can get access to economic opportunities, but so that governments and companies and organizations are able to leverage this data to make strategic business decisions. In fact, our economic graph, which we pride ourselves, is being used by institutions such as the World Economic Forum to understand what are some of the skills of the future. So we're building up that to help businesses, governments, and organizations such as yours. Then on the other side is then to say, with all of this data and the fast pace of growth that's coming through, how do we keep up? We keep up, first of all, by hiring some of the smartest people. So shout out some of my LinkedIn colleagues there that are in development. Shout out to that. Number two, we are part of a large organization. Did you know LinkedIn is a part of Microsoft? So leveraging some of the tech that comes out of Microsoft, some of the tech that that comes out of LinkedIn, we're able holistically to get a lens on skills, to get a lens on changes and trends, and keep up with the world of work. So we're constantly evolving. We're constantly learning from the things that you put on your profile, the jobs companies post. We're constantly learning about the skills people are investing in. So it's an ever evolving environment that LinkedIn stays up to date and makes as easier an experience it is for you as recruiters to wade through all of that data and sort of say, where are the software developers that have a specific industry experience? Where are the software developers that understand a specific skill? And how do I leverage things like AI when I'm looking to get candidates, or ask questions, etc.? So we are keeping up to date. I hope that answers the question.
It definitely does. And very excited. I think, again, going back to the African opportunity, Africans are well known to embrace technology quicker than the rest of the world. We saw what happened with mobile and cellular adaptation. So e-learning particularly, I think, is the next big thing, right, on the continent to upskill quickly. We do have a question from Atesh saying, how often should I upgrade my current skills?
How
Can you
often
answer that?
Sorry, there's a question that came through, yeah?
Yeah,
Said,
how often? Yes.
Always be learning. Make time for learning always. Be intentional about it, because here's the thing. When you're constantly investing in yourself, you're telling recruiters and hiring managers that you have a propensity to learn. Today, we're looking at jobs for, of course, software developers. In this environment, the tools, the methodologies, the practices used to solve, debug, and to make great software products continues to change. The platforms they're interacting with, the browsers, the mobile phones they're developing for continue to change. Irrespective of your role as a recruiter, as a hiring manager, as a professional, I urge you to make time for learning. Continue to invest in skills. The more you invest in your skills, the more opportunities that will become available to you. And that's why I put up the hashtag here, each one teach one. What we're learning today is no corporate secret. What we're learning today, someone else can benefit from it, including recruiters, hiring managers, and others that should be part of this live stream. So definitely share what you're learning today with a friend, with a colleague, with a job seeker, and of course, with a hiring manager. So, in terms of software developers, if I just continue with our live stream, we're getting close on, folks, to the core. So, why do we go about hiring software developers, and what role do they play in our organization? Well, as we all know, software developers are those who help us create those applications and interfaces that we work with in order to get things done. Software developers are the ones who create, they debug, and they're the ones who create all the help code, all the help text that we see that goes with the application for us to have a good experience. Software developers are hired in multiple industries, whether it be from a consumer side, from a public sector service side, or even from a higher educational perspective. Software developers are also equally responsible for ensuring that those applications that we are investing in, those applications that we're developing, that they integrate, they stay up to date, they're secure, and that we provide a good user experience. I think why we hire software developers is self-explanatory. But here's the part. Here's where I want you to pay particularly close attention in terms of what are the skills we look for when we're looking for software developers. Have a look at this, right? So what have I put up on screen? I've put up on screen some of the required skills. Now, some of these you would expect, such as a proficiency in JavaScript. Some of these you'd expect, such as them understanding programming languages such as Java, C++, Python, etc. And then you would expect them to have had some previous experience on working on software development projects. On the flip side, in terms of preferred skills and qualifications, here we're talking about their experience in working with web standards such as HTML, with them understanding and showing that they've worked with the likes of Polymer, Backbone, or even with Angular in terms of familiarity with these platforms. Excuse me. We're also trying to get an understanding of what they know about developing for web and adhering to standards. Now, why did I ask you to pay close attention? I asked you to pay close attention to those skills that are required or preferred. Because when we have done these live streams, I told you we've done a live stream for how to hire a Rockstar fundraiser, how to hire a Rockstar donor relations manager, how to hire a Rockstar teacher, how to hire a Rockstar teaching assistant, how to hire a Rockstar recruiter. And with each and every one of those jobs, they had educational requirements. But when we're looking at the world of software developers, we're looking at skills. Skills. Not once here have we mentioned a degree or a diploma. We have mentioned a familiarity with skills. So the best in class on LinkedIn who are hiring software developers, they're leading first with skills. It's a skills-based economy. A skills-based economy means that we as recruiters, hiring managers, or CIOs, project managers, digital transformation managers, when we're leading projects, what we're looking for primarily is to solve a business problem. And to solve a business problem, I require a skill, an experienced skill. And that's why we say it's a skills-based economy. That's why we say to job seekers, add skills and certificates onto your profile, because the lens that our recruiters and hiring managers have is that I have a business problem that requires a skill. So go out there and find me that specific skill. So this is what starts to differentiate this job from other jobs that we've hired for. It is not to say degrees and certificates and diplomas are not important, but it's to say in the world of work we're in today, it's about skills. It's a skills-based economy. And if you want to find the best in class, you lead with a skills-based lens, skills-based hiring. Let's go forward in terms of how else we can go out there and hire the best in class software developers. We go out there by telling a compelling story. Where do we tell that compelling story? One way, as I said, is on a career page. We've already talked about how we go out there and leverage our career page to highlight things that matter to our candidates, because candidates will research us. They'll look at your profile as a recruiter. They'll look at your profile as a hiring manager and say, what's your journey? How have you grown? How has this organization developed you? And what are some of the roles and responsibilities you have? Remember, the best in class software developers are looking for an environment, a culture that has values that attest and work for them. So how do we bring that side out so that we are answering those questions for them before we've even posted our jobs, or even before we reach out to have a conversation with them about joining us? Another way that we reach out to them is how we describe our jobs, how we position that job. The language that we use matters in order to engage them. Even the amount of bullet points that we have, or how long a job description is. Remember, these are software developers. They're in demand. And what's more, our job description should be simple to read, should highlight critical things we're looking for, allow us to identify the best when we're shortlisting, and should allow software developers to apply on the platform they choose to be on. So they could be on a desktop computer, laptop computer, or, as we know, they're developers, they'll be on a mobile device probably. So how easy are you making it for them to click to apply? Are you making it a simple apply now on LinkedIn, or are you redirecting them to your website? And when you're redirecting them to your website, this is kind of like shopping online. You know how it is. The longer and the harder you make it, the more likely I'm not going to buy. So if I am a software developer, make it easy for me. My profile's up to date. Let me click to apply and enter your talent pool. And then when you're shortlisting, start qualifying me out in terms of some of the things that you're hiring for. We're not trying to give you volume to say, go through thousands of candidates. But what we say is the experience, particularly for hard to hire talent, such as software developers, does not need to be difficult. It should be in such a way that they can apply easily, take a skills assessment, or answer some questions if they may, but allow them to apply on LinkedIn with their mobile devices, so that you, as an HR or as a recruiter, have a talent pool that you can look at. In terms of our job description, we want to outline, of course, clearly what the job is. We want to outline what our mission and our values are, and what is the responsibilities and some of the qualifications we'll be looking at from that individual. So, as we've done with other live streams, is put up what a good job description looks like for a software developer. Like I said, part of this call is to show you that LinkedIn has access to templates and insights that help you do your job if you're in HR, recruiting, talent acquisition, or you're a hiring manager. I'm not putting up these job descriptions so that we go through each and every point, because that will belabor the point. I know you can read. If you want access to this, after this live stream, you'll get access to a link where you can get more of this. But why am I putting this up? I'm putting it up to say, here's what an ideal job description looks like for a software developer. Here's how to keep it short and succinct. Here's how to go about highlighting those critical skills and certifications that you're looking for, and of course, the preferred ones. And of course, for each and every other job beyond software developers, we are happy to provide for you templates on how to do that. In terms of how to hire software developers, here are my top 3 hard questions that I would use if I was looking to hire a software developer. What we've done in these live streams is to feature 3 of the hard skills and what questions would ask, 3 of the soft skills and what question would ask, and 3 behavioral questions and what questions you would ask. And then we give you some suggested answers in terms of what to look out for when you're doing these questions. So the first one I might ask, if a software developer was sitting in front of me, was to get an understanding of what skills or what programming languages they're most comfortable with. I'd want them to show me, or at least to outline, the programming language they're most, or coding language that they're most familiar and comfortable with. But also, more importantly, like I said, they're showing me that they have embraced a culture of lifelong learning. What are some of the new tools that they're learning? Some of the new tools that they're looking to integrate, some of the new technologies that they are exploring. So that's what I'd listen out for in my first question, as I ask, which programming languages are you most adept with as a software developer? Next, I might then want to ask them to explain the types of development languages or methodologies they have followed and why. Now, in the world of development, what we want to get an understanding of is what strategies they have used, such as Agile, what strategies they have used in order to develop some of the methodologies they're familiar with. And of course, them being able to show me their broad depth and understanding of some of these will give me a lens as a hiring manager, as a recruiter, in terms of how they will fit in and contribute to our organization. So I would definitely ask that question. The next question I might want to ask in terms of hard skills, my third hardest question I would ask is, walk me through your QA process, your quality assurance process. Quality assurance plays a critical role in terms of the success of the applications and the things that we're developing. So I'd want to get an understanding of what exposure this candidate has had to quality assurance processes and which quality assurance process they follow through as an individual, so that I can see the methodology or the approach they take and how it aligns to our own institution. Next, in terms of trying to get a sense of their behavioral intelligence, I might want to ask them, have you ever tested for bugs in an application that you have coded in the past? Show me your approach. How have you intentionally gone out there to debug? How have you gone out there to continuously develop, to document your process? How have you gone out there to go and identify challenges with your code? Maybe it could be even how you approach other team members to help you when you've gotten stuck. So that's what I'll be listening out for when I'm asking this specific question to a software developer. The next behavioral question I might want to ask someone I'm interviewing is for them to walk me through their last project. And in terms of the last project, what am I looking for here? I'm looking to get an authentic feedback of the project you worked on, the impact and the results that it had. I'm also looking to hear authentically how you may have had some shortcomings, whether it be from a personal perspective of skills, whether it be the tools and the solutions you're using, and how you also collaborated with other team members, how you measured success, how you managed to deliver on time. These will be some of the behavioral questions I would ask the best in class software developers as I go about trying to recruit. The next question I might want to ask is, of course, to test for authenticity of my candidate. So I might then want to understand how truthful they are in terms of their reflection on the past things they've worked on, because we know when people come for interviews, they put their best foot forward. So, knowing that, we want to understand where they've had some challenges in the past, or some missteps, or some mistakes that they have made in the past. We want to know how they've gone about to resolve for these, and to ask for help from other team members. All right, we're down to the last three questions in terms of some of the essential soft skills. So we've looked at the hard skills that define our software developers. We've looked at some of the behavioral questions. Now let's look at some of the essential soft skills that holistically make up software developers. So what would I be asking them? I would ask them here how they approach software testing. Now, in terms of approaching software testing, there's multiple ways. If you're a software developer, you totally get me here, that there's multiple ways for you to approach testing. Chances are you're being interviewed by a project manager, digital transformation manager, a CIO. You're being interviewed by those who have technical competencies. So this is the time where you get to highlight your experience in terms of collaborating maybe with a quality assurance team, or perhaps the approach that you used in terms of resolving and testing for bugs and errors within your code. So that's the question I'd ask, is how do you approach your software testing? And those will be some of the things I would listen out for. Next, I would ask them to explain how they tell the story to non-technical people. Yes, we're hiring software developers. It is absolutely essential that they have communication skills that are agile enough for them to speak, to hear the user needs, to speak, to hear the needs of management, to speak and hear the needs of our external custodians, and understand all of that, and then build the application. And where things are not possible, we're testing out to hear their communication skills, their communication skills in translating technical challenges to a non-technical audience. And this is why I say make time for learning. It's important that as a software developer, that your skills of communication, storytelling, business analysis are shown on your profile, so that when the best in class jobs become available, you are being brought into the boardroom, to that strategic meeting, to explain in non-technical terms technical things. So software developers, as much as you're building out your understanding of all these software platforms we talked about and the software tools and methodologies, you want to ensure that your communication skills are par one, because you will be called upon them to use them in talking to users, in talking to business, and of course in ensuring that the solutions we're providing ultimately resolve and are easy to use for the audiences we're trying to serve. Next, in terms of questions I'd ask them is, of course, what would be some of the project management tools you are familiar with? Here, I'm trying to get an understanding of your personal approach and also your experience in leveraging project management tools to help you do your job. How are you organized? And again, from an essential soft skills perspective, software developers are being urged to, of course, take time to do courses on time management, because the role you're being brought in to do is heavily governed, measured around time. So your time management skills are important. So when I ask this question, I'm trying to get a sense of where my candidate has relied on technology, processes, and tools to keep themselves in line in terms of meeting deadlines and delivering on expectations. So those would be the top three questions that I would have asked if I was looking to hire a software developer. We are almost at the end of this. And of course, like we said, we're giving you an opportunity to ask questions. That's the whole point for us to be live streaming, is not to have a one-way conversation, but for you to ask questions, whether you're a hiring manager, whether you're a recruiter, whether you are a CIO, or whether you're a head of an institution, college, polytechnic, or university. And ultimately, we want to help you gain access to those tools that will help you brand, that will help you hire, that will help you interview, and bring the best in class into your organization. And how else are we helping you here? We're helping you here in terms of when we're going out to market, like we said, we're looking to measure our internal candidates against external candidates. So we want to, first of all, give you that lens. What's more, when we're looking to source our candidates, what we're looking for is not just volume, but we're looking for quality. So how do we go about ensuring that quality candidates come through? How do we ensure we put in things such as qualification questions? We put in things such as skills assessments to help us shortlist and identify the best. What's more, we know that software developers, I ran a poll on this last week, and I was surprised. I asked the question whether software developers, in terms of their professional background, skills, education, whether that detail was more up to date in their HR record, or more up to date on a CV or their LinkedIn profile. It was neck for neck. You want to know who won? It was actually the CV. Most software developers are telling me, and thank you for that, I love the honesty. Most software developers, just by a fraction of 2 or 3%, are telling me they have more information on their CV than they have on their LinkedIn profile. And that concerns me. As a software developer, if you're looking for new economic opportunities and you want the world of work to bring those opportunities to you, you want to ensure that your profile goes beyond a resume. Your profile is available 24/7. Your profile has these additional capabilities: rich media, projects, awards, certificates, recommendations, endorsements from the world at large. It has video, it has audio, it has so many things that can help recruiters identify you. So for those of you who are software developers still using traditional CVs, I urge you, make time for learning and build up your profile and your brand on LinkedIn so that these hiring managers go out there and they find you. So what was I saying here? I was saying that we are here to help, and we're here to help you source external candidates, build out your brand, and also still maintain a lens on internal mobility and diversity and inclusion. In terms of working with LinkedIn, for those of you who are interested in working with LinkedIn, I'm about to show you the key contacts of people in LinkedIn who work with me that are ready to help you. So whether you're in Turkey, Israel, Greece, Malta, Cyprus, Angola, Mozambique, whether you're watching in Romania, Poland, Zimbabwe, South Africa, wherever you're watching from, here's how we work with you. When we partner up with your organization, first of all, you're getting a world-class solution, which means that you're partnering as an organization, meaning payments are made organization to organization for the subscription once a year. When we use things like Recruiter Lite, it means that as a recruiter, you're paying with your card. That data belongs to you. It doesn't belong to the organization. And when you leave, they miss out on that information. And on top of it, it's giving us all sorts of privacy issues. When we talk about a corporate solution, we talk about coming together, not just once to talk about your needs, not just once for you to acquire the solutions. We're talking about you and us coming together on a quarterly basis to review your usage, your performance, your results. Are you able to hire? Which software developers have you been able to hire? Which software developers looked at your jobs and went somewhere else? Where did they go? Who hired them in the end? And why? Could it be in our brand story, our job description, our interviewing? There are many ways that we can look at this data and insights and demystify how you go about efficiently hiring software developers affordably. So we meet on a quarterly basis with you to help understand how much talent we're reaching, how much talent we're engaging, how much talent is looking at our jobs, and how much talent has been brought into our pipeline. And of course, you have the opportunity to move those candidates quickly through your process in terms of applying, being screened, interviewed, shortlisted, and being made an offer and hired ultimately. In terms of the context that we have available to help you with this journey, it goes beyond myself. So if you're watching this live stream, we're about to end. If you have questions, throw them into the chat. But here are the contacts. Whether you're watching from West Africa, you can reach out to Tunde. If you're watching from South Africa, you're reaching out to John and Marius, and in East Africa, Nelly. And of course, if you're sitting in regions outside of that, you can reach out to Crispin and myself. That QR code you're seeing on the screen is the link to where you can find all the resources related to how to hire a software developer. So scan it, take a photograph, take a screen grab, share it with your network today, share it on Twitter and other platforms, YouTube, etc., because there are resources there for hiring managers. There are resources there for recruiters. There are resources there for talent acquisition professionals and also for, of course, professionals. In terms of other resources, as usual, we try and help our members, whether you're hiring managers, whether you're recruiters, or whether you're CIOs. Those who have attended this live stream, as a bonus in the QR code, you're going to find a link on how to build your profile. It's a 2-page link on how quickly you can build out your profile so that new economic opportunities come to you. But what's more, it's so that your profile serves as a talent magnet to attract maybe other recruiters to come and work for us, to attract maybe software developers to work for us, to attract those we're trying to hire, those we want to join our institutions. So you will find in the link how to build out your profile. I want to now end off by asking you to give me some feedback. It is Monday morning. I've done my best to energize you and, of course, to educate you. And now what I'm looking for you is to start engaging with us. Reach out so we can have a one-on-one discussion on how we can help your specific organization. Feedback is a gift, and it's a gift I greatly appreciate. As I bring back Marius, as I bring back John. Marius, you see, I miss you. But anyway, as I bring John back on screen, we are on LinkedIn. Folks, all I'm asking for, if you found value, if you learned something new today, what is it that you learned? What is it that you're going to share with a recruiter, with a software developer, with a hiring manager, with your institution, your organization? What is it you're going to share with them about how LinkedIn helps you identify, plan, brand, market, hire, engage the best-in-class software developers, the best-in-class teachers, recruiters, fundraisers, you name the job. We're here to assist. I hope you found this live stream useful. We're right at the end of it. I'm about to bring John back on screen. And as I always do, I need to bring him back with a little bit of cheer, applause, energy from you. It's been a powerful Monday morning. Let me bring John back on and, of course, show some love for John. And of course, him and all the energy he's been giving us in the chat section. So let's see if we can bring him back on camera.
Thanks, Stu. Extremely energetic and passionate as usual. You crushed it again this Monday morning. We have a question from Eunice. She says, what is your take on very skilled software developers who struggle with soft skills, even when it comes to sharing their experience? Nice question to finish off with.
What is your take on very skilled software developers who struggle with soft skills, even when it comes to sharing their experience? Yeah, I kind of get that. I get that. Yeah, it's kind of like artists and other creatives as well. You can be great at what you do, but telling that story can be quite difficult. Here's the thing: there's 930 million professionals on this platform. Have a look. Those that inspire you, those that lead in this sector, how are they telling their story? What can you learn from them? What can you authentically borrow from their story and bring into your story? Because we don't have to go about this starting from scratch. We could look at how other professionals are telling their story. We can also, Eunice, look at the jobs that are being advertised on LinkedIn. How are they advertising those jobs? And then, as a software developer, in my About section, I go in and I tell that story as humanly as possible. In my work experience, I tell a story of who I worked for, what skills, what impact, what results I provided there. And then in my skills and my experience in education, I start purposefully building up skills that are essential soft skills, such as communication and leadership skills, such as storytelling skills, because those investing in learning them, showing that I'm investing in them, tells a story on its own. But because I've invested in them and I've put those skills on my profile, I'll be expected to leverage them. So here's my encouragement for you. Make time for learning. LinkedIn Learning has many courses on how to project yourself, how to lead, how to collaborate, how to communicate, how to engage, how to inspire. There are many courses. And as you consume these courses, add those certificates onto your profile and start telling your story. There's no such thing as a perfect profile. You don't have to do your profile in one sitting. As I said, be reflective, be authentic. Look at other people's profiles. How do you bring that story into yours? And then work on it section by section, especially those soft skills. Those soft skills will show themselves in how you tell your story in terms of results, impact, and some of the things that you've done. Those soft skills will show themselves in terms of how you organize yourself. So that's my short advice to you, Eunice. I hope it answers the question, and I thank you very much for asking that question. We're literally a couple of seconds away from closing out. John, do we have another question?
More a statement from Mercy. She's saying, I find myself as HR having to do a lot of mentoring young engineers on soft skills, confidence, communication, and grooming. And that's 100%. These, particularly the software developers, tend to be kind of the old techies in the back, aren't they? I mean, this is a great opportunity for them to skill up on those soft skills. And also for somebody in an organization that doesn't have the skills in software to start a learning path, right?
That's right. That's it. There's learning paths that are available to us to help us do this. John, if you can help me thank this audience, I want to actually play out with a really funny video. So if you've got time, it's not a LinkedIn video. Let me put that out there because it might be career limiting, right? It's not a LinkedIn video. It's a humorous video on how recruiters somewhat struggle to hire. And if that's you that you're seeing in the video, definitely you want to make time to reach out to us. But before I get into the video, John, any last words from your side?
Yep, just from our side, as one of the alliance partners for LinkedIn, we're always available. We've got feet on the ground here in Africa, got an office in South Africa, well, Cape Town and Johannesburg. We've got a Nairobi office, and we've got a Lagos office in Nigeria. So please feel free to reach out if you need to get some more information about everything that Stuart is talking about employer branding, about presence on LinkedIn in general. We can support and assist. So thanks for the opportunity. And good luck for the rest of your Monday. Big thank you.
Thank you for that, John. I'm going to, of course, sum it up and close out. So today we covered how to hire a Rockstar software developer. We have covered in this series every Monday a particular job. For those of you who might not know, we covered how to hire a Rockstar fundraiser, a Rockstar donor relations manager, a Rockstar teacher and teaching assistant, a Rockstar recruiter, and today we covered how to hire a Rockstar software developer. It's time to shine. It's time to shine as a software developer you are, who's exposed to multiple languages, who's exposed to multiple software development methodologies and tools and best practices. It's time to shine as a recruiter that is working with the marketing organization to go out there to brand and tell our story, to put front and center to our software developers, the opportunity to work for us, the benefits of working for us, and the developmental opportunities that we offer if you were to join our organization. It's time to shine as an organization, whether we're a university, a college, a higher educational institution, a nonprofit, a commercial organization, or even a public sector organization. It's time to shine, highlighting the work environment and tools that we provide, highlighting the development that we make and developmental investments we make in those who join us. It's time to shine as a continent and as a world by taking on Monday with some of these things that we've learned. I hope you have found today inspiring, engaging, and that you're going to take the action to reach out to us, so that we can look at these data and insights specific to your country, your organization, and to fix and help you hire for those roles that you're struggling to hire for. Welcome to LinkedIn. Welcome to the world of solutions. With that, as I said, I have a video. And as I said, because I don't want to make it career limiting, this video is not from LinkedIn. It's a video I found on YouTube of how hard it can be to hire or recruit. So enjoy this video. Hopefully it will bring a smile on your face and of course inspire you to get in touch and not be the recruiter in this video. Have a wonderful Monday. Goodbye.
Hey John, Matt at Bets Recruiting, how you doing? Happy Monday. No, not best, bets. TGIF. So I found your LinkedIn and I want to chat. It's good to cast a wide net. You should talk to a lot of companies. A quick call never hurt. So what are the top 3 things you're looking for? So what did you W-2 last year? So how old are you? Sorry, when did you graduate? What's your social if you don't mind me asking? So you took a 1.5 year sabbatical. How can we spin that? Would you be willing to take a pay cut for the right opportunity? So what's the bare minimum you have to live off of? How do you feel about relocating? 1.5 hours really isn't that long. Are you willing to take a small step backwards to make a big leap forward? I have an awesome opportunity for you. Well, it all started in a dorm room at Stanford. So have you ever heard of Salesforce? The founding team went to Berkeley, go Bears. They have beer on Fridays, open territory, ping pong, huge equity play. You can literally make millions. I'm not trying to sell you here, but you are a perfect fit for this role. I would say that the culture is work hard, play hard. Definitely work hard, play hard. So they work hard, but they know how to party, if you know what I mean. I know you're at work right now, but those just take a few minutes. I'm sorry to call you so early. So sorry to call you on a Sunday. Yes, I've had a lot of caffeine today. There might be a drug test. Will that be a problem? What are you gonna wear? No, your aunt is not a reference. When I said casual environment, I didn't mean you could wear jeans to the interview. Time kills deals. So how's that Yelp review coming? I tweeted you and I haven't heard back. I mean, can I accept the position on your behalf? This is more of a long-term relationship. So if you were to give me a rate of a 1 to 10, where would you fall? I'm more of a career coach than a salesperson. I'm so excited. So we got the feedback from the client. One step backwards and 2 steps forward.